take you over the limit. You know I'm only looking out for you. Get lucky, I get lucky, and I see you get lucky too. I'll be there when you get it right. That's the beauty of living my life. Hold on, baby, I'm taking you back to school. When logic fails, don't lose your head. You just turn to me instead. Hold on, baby, now here we go back to school. Here we go.
Our school year has begun. In this program, we'll provide you with an opening of schools report. First, you'll hear from our new elementary school principal, Dr. Tom Higginbotham. He'll be followed by the junior-senior high school principal, Chris Andrisky. Then I will close with comments about some of the top priorities that we're facing in the year ahead. Our schools are terrific places for children to learn and grow, with small class sizes, comprehensive programs, and excellent teachers, administrators, and support staff. Our schools are ready for a great year. Add to that the wonderful students that come to our schools, and it's a formula for success. Now let's hear from Principal Tom Higginbotham.
Good morning, I'm Tom Higginbotham. I'm the principal at Newmarket Elementary School. This is my first day at a new school. This is actually my first day at the elementary level, and I'm just thrilled beyond words to be here, both in Newmarket with the staff we have here at this school, and then also at this level. I have 3 little kids, and the oldest is going into kindergarten, and I think just being here at this level at such a foundational place for kids and their educational experience, where we're essentially setting the foundation for what their education looks like, how they self-conceptualize who they are as learners. I started at the high school, went to the middle, and now I'm finally at the apex, the elementary level. I came from Portland, Oregon, and my wife and family with the 3 kids, we've been trying to get back to the East Coast, and I had a really good gig back in Portland, and was just waiting for a great opportunity to rise. And when we're looking, there were a couple of options, and head and shoulders, the staff here at Newmarket, just fantastic. Every interaction I had in the whole process, and talking with Dr. Hayes and talking with the school board, just was a great fit for me, and I'm just really excited. The staff here is, I've only worked with them for 2 full official days, but boy oh boy, I've been around, and I can just get a sense of who knows what they're doing, and this staff is amazing. They know what they're doing. They're dedicated, they're professional, they help each other out, and they're tremendously skilled. So I can't wait to be here this year. Morning, ladies. Morning, gentlemen.
Hi.
Happy first day. You know, I started at the high school level, and that's a great, I've loved all the levels I've been at. By the time they get to high school, they're a little less malleable, and the foundation has been set. It can still be changed, but there's a lot of momentum to overcome. Here we get them fresh, we get them clean, and it's basically, this is just potential waiting to be tapped, and I can't think of a more important time to be a part of the educational process. So I started as a high school assistant principal in Waynesboro, Virginia, and I was there for 2 years, and then headed out to Oregon, where I was a middle school assistant principal for 3 years, and then last year was my first year as principal at Rock Creek Middle School, also in Portland, Oregon. And like I said, that was a great gig, and that was really hard to leave because we'd established a lot of new patterns in the building and the culture that really benefited kids and teachers, but we ended up, this was the time for us to move. I'm a firm believer that family is first. Be really good at your job, be outstanding at home, and that's what's brought us here. So that is why I ended up in Newmarket, and then all the other things I said about staff and all the folks around here are just kind of a no-brainer for me. So over the summer we had a lightning strike. We're still actually recovering from that technology-wise. The modulars are still awaiting internet service. Over the summer there was a lot of work that Dan and his crowd did on, Dan Su is the director of technology, on increasing bandwidth. So we're effectively looking at over 10 times the capacity that we had last year. One of my chief priorities here is to upgrade teachers' access to technology. A lot of the things that when I came to talk to staff, let me start over there. I came to talk to staff back in June once I'd signed on the dotted line, knew I was coming here because I'm not come in and change things the way that I want them. I want to figure out a little bit about what's on people's minds, what's working well, and where they'd like to see change. And one of the a couple of the themes that I heard were technology and just generally kind of communication. And boy, those are some of the same things I heard at the last school, Rock Creek, that I was at. And we made some changes to just how we communicate. All of them, or most of them, involve Google Apps, which Newmarket just happens to be adopting this year. So that's a powerful communication tool that involves mail, calendar, and documents that's all collaborative and interwoven. And those can be leveraged really powerfully to just create seamless and timely communication among the organization, because no one has time to chew their cabbage twice, and these systems that we're going to implement here were the same ones, many of the same ones I implemented in my last school, and by the end of the year people were really appreciative of the changes it made in their weeks and their lives and how easy it was to get information, because we need to be focusing on teaching. We don't need to be focusing on, now, where is that document that I need to fill out in triplicate? We need to be teaching our kids and focusing on our craft and practice. We don't need to spend our time reading documents. We need to spend our time being with kids and focusing on our practice. So one of the big changes is technology. A lot of the equipment that teachers have is in need of repair and upgrade, so that's going to be a big priority of mine as we move forward. We've got the foundation taken care of with the bandwidth increasing, so that's pretty exciting, but there's a ton more work to do, and I'm excited for it, and I think the teachers are as well. One of the places that technology, of course, comes to fruition is in the media center, and we've got some great foundations here, and we're going to build on them. And kids, the world they grow up in and work in is going to be markedly different than the world that I grew up in. These kids are technical natives and technology natives. We're adults, most of us in the schools are immigrants to a lot of this stuff, so it's super extra double hard for some of us to be the teachers of that technology, but yet it's what we require, it's what we mandate. We're shortchanging our kids if we don't do that. So it's not just tech for tech's sake, it's tech for kids' sake, and it's tech for their lives. They need to be literate in technology, which is a lot of how I read the Common Core state standards. So the Common Core state standards are, for a long time there's been a call for national standards in education. And for a long time, there hasn't really been overwhelming adoption of that idea. States want to have local control over that. Well, recently, 45, I believe it is, out of 50 states signed on and agreed to adopt the Common Core state standards, which are essentially national standards for those 45 states that have agreed to join in. And starting in a couple years, we're going to be assessed based on those standards. Now, within each state, there is some wiggle room for local additions for things like, obviously, state history. But those Common Core state standards are really, they get very specific. They're rigorous, they're challenging in the math and the different subject areas. But really, as you read through them, they're about literacy, and not literacy just reading and writing, but literacy of information. What do we do as people with this massive amount of information we have? We've got to figure out how to identify its source. We've got to figure out bias. Obviously, we need to do the base level, just interpreting it, but it's so much more than that. How do we take all this information out in the world and make sense of it? And that's how I read the Common Core state standards. And so that's something, New Hampshire is one of the states that has adopted it. we're going to be testing in live in a couple years, and so that's going to be a big curricular challenge. It dovetails nicely with our district's commitment to improving technology for kids and for teachers, and that's a huge task. But there's a lot of folks working on it at both the state and local level, and our teachers are well apprised of it. Our restructuring team has made that one of their 3 commitments, and so teachers very organically have arrived at the place where, you know what, this is something we need to focus our mental energies on. So there's a lot of buy-in to it. Now it's just a matter of training folks, of learning, of reflecting, and figuring out how it is we're going to adapt our classrooms to these new standards.
Our baby Toad has visited this office. Come on in. Do you know who lives in this office during the school? Who knows whose office this is? Come on in.
The principal.
This is the principal, Mr. Higginbotham. And look, you found our baby Toad. He's here. He visited all of the responsible adults in the school, like the nurse and the cafeteria ladies, and now who did he visit?
The principal.
The principal. So here's our baby Toad, and I think we might have to teach him some rules about not leaving the classroom. But if you ever need something and you're lost, who's a responsible person you could come see?
The principal.
Who could you come see?
The
The principal. Take a look. Say hi to Mr. Higginbotham, boys and girls.
Hi, Mr.
Hi everybody, happy first day. Do you know what my name is?
Mr. Higginbotham.
That's really good. You know, I came from a middle school, and a lot of those kids couldn't even say my name. So you guys, wow, very nice.
So I am so thankful we found our baby Toad here. And if you have any questions or you're lost or have things that you need, you can always ask Mr. Higginbotham. He is not a stranger. He's the principal of our whole school. Do you have a question, hon?
How did the turtle go over?
The Toad here, he must have gone out of our classroom. We're going to bring him back now and make some rules. I think he hopped. Should we make some classroom rules for him? Let's go back and do that. Can you say goodbye to Mr. Higginbotham, please?
Bye, Mr.
Bye.
Higginbotham.
Bye.
Thanks for visiting.
Thank you very much for keeping good track of our Toad.
Sure.
I think the toad was lost.
I think he was lost. I think that's why he came here. That's a smart thing for a baby Toad to do.
One of the great applications of technology, as I've mentioned, is just communication. And one of my goals is to do a great job communicating with not just our families, but also our greater community as a whole about what's going on here at the school, because there are amazing things going on. One of the things I've heard, I live in Durham, and one of the things I've heard is, oh, Newmarket Elementary, isn't that where the roof is falling down? That's all that a lot of folks hear about this school. And I want to just there's just so many amazing things that are happening at this school and at the high school, and I just want to do a better job of just reaching out to the community, so and just sharing all that. I think that's on us to say, you know what, there is great stuff going on here. Sometimes people aren't as diligent about finding that information that isn't as tantalizing to read, and so that's on us to go out and share that. So one of the things I'm going to do is have a bi-weekly, meaning every other week, newsletter that I'm going to be sharing electronically. There will be a link on our website that just says sign up for bi-weekly newsletter, and we just need an email address. We'll also print copies and put them in the office for those folks who prefer to get their information that way. But for those folks who want just quick access to that, there'll be a link, and we'll just sign you up for it. So, and then also to our families who are, our email list is in our student information system is woefully underpopulated. So there will also be a place for folks on the website to share their email address with us. So please, at the beginning of the year when school's fresh, schools start, please make sure, give us a call if you don't know what email address we have. And we're going to be using email addresses to communicate much more than we have in the past. And with that, so at the end of 6 years here with us, kids get off up to the junior and high school. Those are the two places I've been previously, but I'm really glad to be here now, and I'm really glad that once they leave here, they're in the good hands of Chris Andriski and all the other Chris's and other folks over there at the junior, senior high school. So take it away, guys.
I'll be there when you get there, right? That's the
Tom. Welcome aboard. We're glad to have you. As you can see, we're back to school here at Newmarket Junior Senior High School. We've got a gorgeous day. Kids came in. They're smiling as they started 12 minutes later. So it was a nice surprise. A couple new things for this year. We had some work done, as you'll see as we take a tour of the building. Restoring some of the hallways and ceilings in the lower portion, the senior hallway, girls and boys bathroom area, and then upstairs in the science hallway and also the bathrooms upstairs as well. A couple of new things, as you know, I presented a bunch of times last year. Block schedule is a big thing today, and today's a red day. 85-minute classes, 4 periods a day, with SST coming back for 3 periods, and then afternoon SST having 2 periods here and then going to Exeter. Let's take a walk inside. Some of the new construction that we've had this year over the summer as part of the fire and life safety plan is you'll see is a new drop ceiling which covers up the hallway going to the senior hallway and the boys and girls bathroom. So all this used to be exposed piping and wires, which is now, cosmetically looks great, and the ceiling was repaired up to code. So this entire hallway all the way down to the senior hallway, which is right here heading down to the art room and the French room. Also, Ms. Gattanini, our industrial arts teacher, her shop area, her room, her ceiling was completely redone, and we'll head in there next. Now we're entering the industrial arts room, and if you see the ceiling, it was completely taken down and then replaced and covered with a fire coating paint to be up to fire and life safety code. So this was one of the biggest projects that they had in the building this summer, as well as doing her classroom, which is right next door to this room. We're going to head upstairs and take a look at some of the reconstruction they did up in the boys and girls bathroom up there as well. Again, building some drop ceilings and covering up a lot of the exposed pipe that was going through the hallways. When we walk through, I'll also show you the work that our custodial crew did this summer on our old floors, the 1924s. They brought out the original shine in them. So it really highlights the old part of the building and brings back some of the old architecture. So this ceiling right here is all new. Again, this was all exposed pipes, and the construction crew left us some drop boxes so we can go up there if we ever need to get to anything up in there, which is nice. Also put our camera back in, which is the hole right there that will be replaced. So again, that cosmetically makes it look a little bit better, and again, brings it up to fire code.
Was this the staircase?
Yeah.
That one's still there, right?
It's still there, but it's unoccupied. This was our book storage area. As you can see, it's vacant. All of our English books for storage, that has been taken out. Here's the old floors. As you can see, hopefully you can see the shine that they brought out on it. So it looks great in here. I'm going to take you to another room that was closed down, our speech and language room. And again, the reason why is because their area of egress in case of a fire was into a stairwell. That's the reason that this room is not allowed to be occupied any longer. So that's this room right here, as you see, right into a stairwell. So this room is now not occupied as well. So to accommodate for the speech and language loss of the room, we've broken up this classroom into 4 sections. 6th and 7th grade will be in one area, 8th grade in one area, a small computer lab, and speech and language. So this services a lot of our students with special needs in this room.
Nice catch. Oh. Is that a backpack for you? That is. Nice. Well, he has a duffel.
There's Miss Sawyer and her new digs. And loving it.
Hi, how are you?
She likes to be incorporated with people now.
I'm poking my head over in order to get in with everyone else.
So due to space issues, we've broken up this large classroom. This will be a computer lab for our middle school special ed students. As you can see, kind of break it off so that they have as much privacy as possible. The last piece of work they did was right in this hallway, which is the upstairs hallway, and the boys and girls bathroom is completely restored, as well as the hallway to the science wing. Now that you've seen some of the changes in the building, we also had 7 new staff members that began the school year with us. So let's go see what they're doing. Nancy Castellone is our family consumer science teacher. She comes to us from Trape Academy, and we're very excited to have her on board with many years of experience. Let's go see what Nancy's doing. How are you?
Good morning, how are you?
Good morning. Just checking to see what you're doing.
Yeah.
You are
doing
on
the-
television, first day of
do-
school.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say, Tyler?
Hi. Hi, Nation.
That's the quietest I've ever seen you be.
Oh, so I just have to put this camera in here and I'm guaranteed a quiet class.
Absolutely. Look at this, all these boys. This is perfect.
Good luck with that.
I'll be
There's
down
gonna be
tomorrow
one
for
girl
pancakes.
here.
This means we won't be making cookies, huh?
No. Why? Some good
Boys
bakers
tend
in
to
here.
eat, like he said, we're arguing the property of how much meat to have. So boys tend to want the 20-ounce steak and girls will say, what dessert can we make? So you're right.
We're going to head upstairs and go see what a couple of our new English teachers are doing. We're going to go into 9th grade English with Miss Odell. Miss Odell comes to us from Dover Middle School, and we're glad to have her on board covering for Sarah Cross as she's out on maternity leave.
Like I said, guys, if you have read these books before, or you've at least encountered them a little bit, or it's like you were talking with Shakespeare, again, one of my big class laws is just to come here with an open mind, because this is a new year, and again, we're going to be reading it in part together and in part independently. But everything that we read in here will be discussing. I'll be translating for you. If there's something you don't understand or don't like, we will talk about it.
Next, we're going to go into 11th grade English. Holly Russell is out on maternity leave, and Megan Odell, who was an intern last year for her, took over and did a marvelous job. So we've hired her back full time for this year. So let's go see what Megan's doing. Go ahead, teacher. We're just doing the first day of school.
Okay, all right. I didn't know if you had a question. So you all have note cards in front of you, yes?
Yes.
With your name on it? Huh? You'll be fine. I believe. So turn the note card over, and I want you to answer these questions about yourself on the back of it.
First day of school would be complete.
No. Hey! Everyone smile. You guys have to watch the news. Okay? On a regular basis, which means every day, I expect that you are watching the news. Or reading a newspaper, looking up current events on the internet. But you need to be watching the news. This is a civics class, guys. Okay? This is all about how your country is supposed to be working for you.
Now we're going to go into high school math to see Miss Betancourt in action. She comes to us from Middleborough, Massachusetts.
Is this going to focus on what I'm saying too?
Can you
or
just go ahead and keep teaching? We'll cut it out as we need to.
Or should I go with the calculators and then I'll go smart again? Right?
See all their hands go in the air to answer the question.
Yeah, somebody asked me a big question. Or your question. Yes.
Which was a calculator?
What?
Which was your calculator?
This one was $11. This one was $110.
Wow.
Alright, I'll hold over homework.
Thank you. Next, we're going to go into the band room to see the new music director for the Newmarket School District. She works both in the elementary school and at the junior senior high school, Miss Jamie Ray. Typically playing the music. She's on prep period right now, planning for her next group of students. Her middle school students, I believe, are coming in next. So diligently planning. And then finally, we're going to go meet our newest addition, or our biggest addition, Chris Mazzoni, the assistant principal. Chris comes to us from the cooperative school in Stratham, where he's been there, the behavior specialist for the last 10 years. We're going to catch you in your office.
Yes, Miss Rosa.
Not right now, you're not.
Why don't I-
So you want to go sit down so we can come in and catch you?
No, she might have it over there.
You don't have a choice. Let's go see what Chris is doing. Hello. How are you?
Hey, welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. This is the first time I've sat down all morning.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, Chris Mazzoni. I'm the new assistant principal. I took over for a very popular man, Dave Williams, and I've heard a lot of great things about Newmarket. I've gotten to see it in action today. Ryan, did you go to the library? Where are we going?
I hope you enjoyed the visit to both of our schools. Now I'll talk briefly about the top priorities that the district sees for the year ahead. The first set of priorities are in the area of curriculum and instruction. Top amongst them is the Common Core. You may have heard of the national standards which many states have adopted. New Hampshire is one of them. So we're in the process, over a multi-year process, of changing from the New Hampshire state standards to the Common Core state standards. And what we face ahead of us is a crucial year. We have to map the differences between the current standards and the Common Core standards in preparation for next year, when these new standards are what are to be guiding curriculum in our classrooms. Curriculum mapping then goes hand in hand with that. Our goal is to get to the point where all of our courses are defined in writing such that everybody can see, putting it online, that everybody can see what is being taught in what grades. Curriculum and professional development go along with that. We need to do a great deal of professional development with Common Core. Curriculum mapping will dominate much of our agenda, and to the point where we have all certified staff administration using Curriculum Connector, which is a Department of Education tool which allows ease of developing the curriculum map and aligning it with the standards. Lastly, in the area of curriculum and instruction, a big step forward for the junior senior high school is shifting to the block schedule, and we look forward to implementing that and making that a successful part of the way we do business. Then there's increasing student achievement, and there are a variety of things that are ongoing. Last year, the district spent a great deal of time, first at the elementary school, dealing with restructuring plan that was guided by consultants from the Department of Education. And then the whole district spent time with something called focus monitoring. Again, a Department of Education monitored program that helped us, both of those helped us develop plans to improve student achievement. And they specifically looked at the gap between the performance of students with special needs and the regular regular education population. Lastly, using data to improve instruction. Getting improvement in student performance is really shaped by how well we look at student assessments, see where they are, find out where their gaps in learning are, and then shape instruction to address those gaps. In the area of technology, we've made great strides this past summer by greatly increasing our bandwidth, by installing a new network and servers, and then shifting our email system to Google Email, which allows us to have a variety of educational apps. And so those were big steps forward for us. We still have more to do, but the ultimate goal is to have full technology integrated teaching in buildings that are fully wireless, and so that we can appropriately implement in all subject areas. And we've made great headway this summer, and we expect to keep on going until we achieve that goal. Facilities planning is obviously something that is a priority for the district. There are 3 areas that we're proceeding on. First, 2 of them are construction projects. But one is designing the addition renovation to the existing site. Another one is fine-tuning the design that was done for a new construction project on the Carpenter properties. And then thirdly, we're continuing discussions with Oyster River Cooperative School District to entertain some kind of a partnership, be it a tuition agreement or some other arrangement that can perhaps satisfy our students for the long term. So that with the goal being that by next March, We'll have fine-tuned all three of these so that the voters will have something that they can make some concrete decisions about. Lastly, in the area of personnel, there are several that are really important priorities for us. Right now, the Health Advisory Committee is looking at, will be looking soon at proposals to make changes in health insurance that will still provide good benefits for our employees, but by the same token, be less expensive products for the employees and for the district. We also have to negotiate a new collective bargaining agreement with the Teachers Association. We expect to begin the first of the school year with those talks. Lastly, equity for individual contracts. We still have people working on contracts that, for a variety of reasons, the compensation is really not a true measure of the responsibilities of the job, and so we try to make progress on that. Lastly, in the area of personnel, we're really working hard to come up with solid job descriptions for everyone and an evaluation instrument that is really pertinent to the work that they do. We've made good headway, still have some more work to do. So those are the top priorities, and I think you'll agree that it's a full agenda. In all ways, I try to instill in our school system a focus on continuous improvement. Ask the question, how can we be better tomorrow than we are today? Working together, we will achieve great things. Thank you for watching.